What's going on, podcasters and YouTubers? This is Hav here, one of your hosts from the Real Fan Review, coming out of Long Island, New York. With me today, we got my boy Sanj.
Good evening, everybody. As usual, it's a pleasure to be with you.
We got our man in the chair, Al.
How's it going, everybody?
No Brandon again, but at least he's watching Top Gun right now. So he's watching Top Gun Maverick right this second because he heard about the movie from us. So hopefully that's a really good sign for you guys. And we'll get into a non-spoiler. So for those who haven't got a chance to witness this amazing movie, you'll hear us talk about it and make you excited to go see it. And then we'll go into the spoilers for the people who did see it, so you can see if we thought the same thing you thought was cool. We go back and forth with the comments and all that. But first and foremost, we must give some respect due to a great actor who passed away this past week in Ray Liotta. Wow. Ray Liotta, man. I mean, this guy has played a phenomenal gangster pretty much in every freaking movie he's been in. Apparently his personality outside of movies is that it's not like that. He doesn't come across as this guy who's willing to fuck you up real quick. But I gotta say, man, I think I might share this one favorite movie with the three fellas, with the two fellas that are with me tonight.
Oh, I know what you're gonna say.
I mean, he's unbelievable in Goodfellas.
Oh yes.
Yeah, man.
He's just,
yes.
He's unbelievable, man. So I mean, like, Al, Ray Liotta, man, tell me, what's your thoughts on Ray Liotta?
Just one of those actors that fit into any role that he played, like whether he was playing the gangster, like you said, in Goodfellas and movies like that, but also when he played a cop, like he was always playing like a troubled person.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of the last things I saw him on was that show, The Color Blue or something like that,
With Jennifer Lopez, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, even on there, he was doing a good job, and but he always brought it. I never saw him not do a good job on a movie or a show or any project that he was on. And like you said, he always had that reputation of being like an actor's actor. Like he helped his co-stars. He never really shut them out, from what I understand, and helped them in any way he could. So, and when you just look back on the breadth of material that he had, he worked on some really good projects.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And Sanj, man, I mean, besides Goodfellas, he was also in the recent movie The Many Saints of Newark, which was like a prequel to, the Sopranos there. I don't know if you got a chance to watch him in that, but he was phenomenal. He played twins. He played twin brothers. So what's your thoughts on Ray Liotta passing, man?
It's the same, and of course, it came out of nowhere. Like it just woke up one morning like, oh, you see the news of actor Ray Liotta has passed, and I'm like, what? But yeah, I mean, his classic role is his role in Goodfellas, but even in The Many Saints of Newark, you saw his ability, his acting ability. Two very different characters, right? And he played both of them, and even though it's his same face, like the facial expressions and everything was totally different. So you could tell the level of skill that he has. So he'll be missed. He'll be missed.
Yeah, man, absolutely, man. And I know he filmed recently some movies, and of course he was filming a movie when he passed away. So I mean, hopefully we haven't seen the last of him just yet. Hopefully we get to cherish and watch another one of his portrayals of of a character. And man, rest in peace, of course, to Ray Liotta, and much respect to his family, his friends. We wish you the best in this trying time, man. But we must go on, unfortunately. So let's get to it, man. Let's get right into the movie of last week, which I did not expect to be my movie of the year so far. But let's get right into it first. Let's do the non-spoiler review of Top Gun Maverick, aka Top Gun 2. Sanj, non-spoiler, your thoughts on Top Gun Maverick.
All right, so I just have a couple of thoughts on it. I thought it was a phenomenal movie. Phenomenal. And it was a perfect example of when they don't give away the movie in the trailers, because for what the movie was and what the trailers put out, I didn't get any of that from the trailer. So I went in completely surprised by what we ended up seeing on the screen. So that was great as well, to be
Yeah.
pleasantly surprised. And my take on it, non spoiler, uh, other than the Batman, the best movie I've seen since Ford v Ferrari.
Yeah. Yes. Oh man, Al, talk to me, man. I mean, you were sitting next to me in this movie.
Yeah, man.
You saw my reactions. What was your thoughts when you saw this movie, man?
Just amazement. Like, you know, it's not often. What was it? 36 years since the original movie came out, and it was very easy for these guys to lose sight of what Top Gun was about, what made everybody want to see it. And thankfully they didn't. I mean, this movie kept everything from the original movie, everything that made that original movie exciting and a classic, and
Mhm.
added to it. You know, I think they added to this movie a lot of the critiques we had for the first one. So you take all the action, the excitement of the first movie, and then you add the depth of story. You know, there were several arcs, you know, characters that made this movie something where you had a vested interest in, yo, how does this movie end? Are they able to do what they're
Yeah.
trying to do? You know, whereas with the first one, like we were saying, it was just action scene in the movie. This one had something that was happening, they were trying to do, and you really want them to do it. Like you care that they succeed. And it was crazy, man. Like I said, this movie right now is the top for me for the year.
Hell yeah. Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
kid. And it's funny because, like I said, it's 36 years since that movie last came out. So
Mhm.
this movie, I don't know if you guys saw the numbers are saying like 120 something million
Just the
Wow.
first weekend here,
over
yeah.
the weekend. Yeah,
Yeah.
and a good percentage of that is, you know, like the 40 plus demographic,
Now, Al,
which is the,
is that domestic or worldwide?
I'm not sure. I want to say probably domestic for that kind of
Wow.
number. Probably is domestic. So once you go worldwide, it might be a little higher.
Jesus.
Um, but the important part that I was seeing in that was that they were saying the 40 plus demographic was coming out. You know, and I think it made like almost 50% of the group come to see this movie.
It's
So
okay to say we. The
Us.
40
yeah,
plus
We
demographic. We were
represent.
coming out.
but that says a lot, kid. Because like, you know, we're diehard movie fans, so we're gonna come out regardless. But
Right.
they weren't like all the rest of the people in our age group wasn't coming out, and they came out for this movie. So that says a lot of, you know, the bent up interest in this movie sequel coming, and I'm glad they didn't disappoint us.
Yeah. I'm actually kind of wondering if that money came early, like Wednesday, Thursday night, because they had a screening on Wednesday or Tuesday was, and one of the days they had screening, and then
Mhm.
Thursday was the night that we went. I wonder how much of that was word of mouth of people who saw it and said how incredible it was, and then people showed up Saturday and today to go see this movie. Now I know the official numbers will probably come out sometime tomorrow afternoon. I don't doubt it for 1 second after seeing this damn movie. This movie was incredible. Like, I left that theater and I came home. I told the wife, I was like, and that's why I go to movies. Right there. Did not expect this movie to blow my mind the way it did. Dude, I was telling Sanj in the theaters, I don't normally react to movies. Like, I react with like happiness, cheering, clapping, those things. But I never put my hands up and like, yes, yes.
I'm saying the pollen was so high that day. The pollen, like,
Oh, okay, yeah.
Like, dude, I could not believe some of the stuff. Like, the part that I got excited for was for a training. I'm not going to spoil it. It was just training, and I was losing my shit watching it. And I just want to tell people, you need to see this movie. It's such a good movie. It's like unexpectedly good. And like Sanj was
Hmm.
saying, the trailers don't give away what this movie is about
yeah.
and what it's like. It just shows him again playing his Maverick character, flying in planes. So you just think it's just Top Gun 2. Dude, this movie is so much more than that. This movie is incredible. It's a team movie, it's a friend movie, it's an
Yeah.
exciting movie, it's a little romantic movie. It's just, oh, again, I'm gonna tell you what I told my wife. This is the reason why I'm in love with movies, because shit
Yeah.
like this comes out and you don't expect it to punch you in the face, and it does. It's just absolutely incredible, this movie, man. And I want to talk more about it. So I want to get in depth with the fellas because there's so much goodness in this movie. I want to see what Sanj thought was his best part. I want to hear Al's best part. So we're going to go right into the spoilers version of this movie. So again, if you have not seen this movie, I understand why. You probably saw the trailers and was like, it looks boring. Go see the movie. You need to see this movie. This movie's incredible.
If
Sanj
you
just
look,
told you.
if you go to movies, if you look at movies on your TV at home, like some people just may not go to the theaters that often or whatever, but if you consume media on your television or watch any sort of movie anywhere, you have to go see this movie in the theater. Like you just have to see it.
Al saw this shit twice.
Yeah.
I don't doubt it.
Yeah.
I don't doubt it. I'm gonna see it again. I'm probably gonna see this at least 3 times in the theater.
That movie was fantastic. I really want to see it again. Like, I want to see this again before I see Batman again. You know what I mean? Like, this is crazy. I would never think that I would say this before seeing the movie. It's just nuts, man. So listen, we're gonna go right into the spoiler version of this movie because you just heard us say it. Need to see it. You got to see it. Signs that better than best movie he's seen since Ford v Ferrari. Ford v Ferrari was the shit. So that tells you enough as it is. So let's get right into the spoiler version of this and go right in. Sanj, again, tell me your real thoughts about everything. Like, what was it about this movie that makes you say it's probably the best movie you've seen since Ford v Ferrari?
Well, it starts with the nostalgia, right? From jump. We get right into it. Maverick in the cockpit, right? It doesn't beat around the bush, nothing. Maverick, he's on his bike, and he's right into the cockpit and he's pushing the limits right from Jump Street, right? And then of course,
Maverick, you don't fucking change.
Maverick does not fucking change at all. They tell him, Maverick, Mach 10, not Mach 10.1, not 10.2. We're just trying to hit Mach 10. And of course, he hits Mach 10. And you think, all right, throttle back, Maverick, throttle back. And then he's like, just a little bit more.
And right there, the collective gasp. Oh, God damn it, Maverick.
No, I think I as soon as he did, I said, fucking Maverick. Like in the theater, I was like, fucking Maverick, But I mean, the nostalgia of it, and then the fact that they involved Goose's kid in the movie, that there was a storyline involving him and Goose's kid. I was pretty sure that was going to happen, but they did it very, very well. They worked the story really, really good. And then the arc with him and Iceman, and just they brought new they expanded the story, and they actually put together a better story than Top Gun.
Yes.
Right. And I think if Top Gun had never existed, and if no one had ever known about Top Gun, and if you've never seen Top Gun, you could see Top Gun Maverick and still feel the same way about the movie, because they did such a good job with explaining everything that was going on.
And the flashbacks.
And the flashback scene. Right. Without, and so that you don't even, and then they don't spend too much time on it either, but you get all the emotion there. And then the romance part of it wasn't gratuitous at all. It wasn't there just to be there. It worked into the storyline very well. And then the Jennifer Connelly was incredible as the love interest. She was very much Maverick's equal, when they were going back and forth with whatever they were talking about. It wasn't him like trying to break her down and win her over, much like it was in the first Top Gun. It's like he was kind of wearing her down, and then eventually she wore down, right? In this when his interaction here with her is much more, they're much more on equal footing, and that worked into the story very well. And then of course the action scenes. Oh my God, being in the F-18, and what I liked about how they did everything, like when they were doing those high G turns, you see, like, you flashed him and he's like contorting his body, right? Well, that's one thing I like, that they went that realistic route to show that, hey, this, it's not just like, a regular movie where, you just tilt to the side a little bit when you're going at like 10 G's. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like,
when you're in a
no.
blue screening it, we green screen it.
Right. No, but he was like, for real, like his whole body was like contorted, and you really got the feeling of the seriousness of what was going on. So those were some of the elements for me that really made the movie.
How about for you, Al? I mean, again, you saw it twice so far. So I mean, were there scenes that kind of just like blew your mind even the second time? Like, what was your favorite part? So what part of the movie did you enjoy the most?
One of the things that kind of surprised me with the movie was how well they ingrained the nostalgia and the flashbacks to the first movie without hitting you over the head with it. Like for example, I noticed it, like we got sucked in when we watched it. Like when they first throw on the theme song, it's kind of quiet, the song is just going, and then out of nowhere they just hit you with the sound of the jet taking off of the carrier, and you're like, woo, okay, we're in this. And when I went the second time, I went with my brother-in-law, and same thing. Once that came in, he was like, all right, like he the movie's going, you're all right, we're going with it.
Yeah.
And just like Sanj was saying, like they touched on the goose, but did it through his son and the impact of what Maverick was now trying to do as being the father that the kid never had. And just everything that went with that, and the realism that they tried to keep with the dog fighting. Like Sanj was saying, you hear him breathing, and you're like, all right, why? You don't think that they would have to control their breathing, but clearly they do. You, like he said, at some point you're having the equivalent of what did he say, 2,000 pounds?
Yeah.
Yeah, they said an elephant sitting on your chest.
Yeah, sitting on your chest, and you don't realize how much they got to prepare by breathing a certain way and so forth, and the impact that was having on their body. And this movie made you realize that, in addition to the excitement of what the scene was. And I think bringing in that level of realism added to the excitement, and then just being more realistic with the dogfighting. Like in the original movie, like we were joking, the dogfight was just seeing the plane go left, right, then left again. Yeah. This one, you see them have to use the flares. You see them have to, improvise when they ran out of flares, and the teamwork and working, all of that together was just made the dogfight scenes in this movie 1,000% better than they were in the original Top Gun. And then adjusting to the fact that they were training to be the top pilots, but the enemy was just as good, if not better, because of the fact that they had the better plane.
Yeah.
So it made even that part of the dogfight, which was ironic that he's fighting them in the old F-14. So this movie, I'm telling you, this movie has so many ups and downs that worked well. Like they knew when to slow it down. Like, so for me, the best scene was that Iceman Maverick scene.
Yes.
Where we see them come together.
I heard you and Sanj, man, when they show Val Kilmer and that conversation.
Yeah, man. Like you see, because like Val Kilmer's not even talking, man. He typed in 2 lines.
Yeah.
And the line just kept coming back to be appropriate for the conversation. He just kept pointing at the screen and hearing, just watching him go back and forth. And I'm glad they didn't keep Val Kilmer out despite his health issues. They were able to bring him in and work with him to make sure that his character was in the movie.
And props to Val Kilmer for making the effort too. That you could see the effort just physically that he was making as a person, to even do what he did.
But tell me that hug didn't look and feel like that was a one take. Like, dude, thank you.
Yeah, no, that was all done in one take. You can't convince me it wasn't done in one take. Absolutely.
Yeah, and you could tell that was the two of them as longtime friends and actors that have known each other for years, putting that on screen, and made that embrace that much more real, because you can sense that there was the reality of what's going on in real life.
Yeah.
That they could use as motivation for that scene. And the ending was just, I felt so, it just made me laugh so much, where Val Kilmer goes, because that competition and that aggressiveness of always wanting to be the best, that never leaves you. So even with all that going on, you have Iceman go, so who's the better pilot? And then you have Maverick having to step back and go, this was such a good moment. Let's not ruin it. Like with everything that happens in the movie, and there's a lot of shit that happens in this movie. That was the one scene that like just did it for me for the whole movie.
I had to be real with you guys. I heard you two talking really quick right after that scene ended. I think it was Sanj who goes, "If the movie ended right here, it'd be one of the best movies I've seen so far."
Yeah, you could have ended the movie right there, and that would have been fine. Fine by me.
And that was like
We're
what,
good.
like not even halfway
That was like
through the
30
movie.
minutes in, maybe 30. I'm like, all right, got the price of admission.
Yeah. It's crazy because you guys like those parts too, and of course I love that conversation with Iceman, the relationship with Goose that Sanj brought up. But to me, it was the entire story itself, man. And like even the beginning part to show us that Maverick has not changed whatsoever. Like I was just saying, he had to push it, that Mach 10 over it, everything. But the visuals of everything as well looked amazing. I mean, that's another reason why if you can see these movies in the theater, you should, because
the sound, the experience, it's immersive in the theater.
Oh my goodness! Yeah. What was it, a stealth bomber that he was driving in the first part of the movie?
It was like a new experimental stealth plane.
Oh, like the way it looked in the theater, like I think I was telling Alex, an 8K screen. It looked phenomenal. It's sharp. It looked out of this world. It was just like, what is this guy flying? Like it looked amazing on the screen. But then when you get past this first scene, and it's just like the talking between the conversations, it kind of reminded like not Game of Thrones, because it's not Game of Thrones. There's no comparison as far as like what the movies are about. But the reason why I love Game of Thrones, and I'm new to this shit, is the conversations. It's the way people talk to each other, the way people feel about each other. That is drawing you in. In this movie, there's a bunch of different scenes where Tom Cruise is talking to different people, and you can see the effect he has on some of the people. One of his guys that he's with in the beginning of the movie, he's with throughout the movie, and you can see the way that this guy loves Tom Cruise's Maverick character. You know what I mean? Like he's just like, hey, I wish you the best of luck, and you can see he wants him to come back home. And I'm just like, wow, that's amazing. And then you can see that like in the other characters, as he's doing things, people are on his side. No matter what he's doing wrong or whatever he has done, they are on Maverick's side. The part that made me lose my shit in this movie was the best part to me was, so it was a scene where he gets kicked off of the training team because Iceman passes away. So the guy that's in charge now has always tried to get rid of him, didn't want him. He had his opportunity to get rid of him. So Tom Cruise has to figure out a way to get back on the team. Oh, dude, I love this scene, man. We have the guys in the classroom, they're training still. And here this guy is telling them, you know what?
Now, mind you, this is a 2-star general that he's dealing with, right?
Yeah.
It's not just some guy. It's a 2-star general. Yeah, I mean, no, not general. Admiral. Forgive me. Admiral. Yeah.
Played by John Hamm. Killing it, because I hated that douchebag real quick.
Amazing.
He's telling them now, hey, instead of 3 minutes to get it done, you guys got 4 minutes now. And the guys, everyone's looking at them weird because they've been busting their ass to get this training done in 3 minutes. And all of a sudden you hear he's like the radar is going off on the TV screen behind them where they're tracking everything. And they're like, who's on the plane? And you hear that it's Maverick. And then before anything else happens, I lost my shit with this. He goes, set the timer for 2 minutes and 15 seconds. I said, this
dude, Maverick. Like this motherfucker. This motherfucker.
The whole theater was just like 2 minutes and 15. You've been training them to do it in 3 minutes. Like, dude, that was the best. And let alone him actually doing it. And I don't know about you guys, but the way he was flying the plane and the way they were showing everything, I felt like I was in the cockpit with this guy. He's doing this and the turn that goes up flip it around and
Yeah.
come back down. Oh, dude, I don't know shit about planes, but when he did that, I was like, this is incredible.
Yeah, man.
I
No,
don't know about you guys, but that was like, again, before even the training part, just him saying 2 minutes and 15 seconds. I said, oh, this dude's crazy. What, Al, talk to me. What was one of your favorite scenes besides the Iceman and, Maverick's conversation there?
no, and it was a subtle thing with that scene that you're touching on right there. It was subtle because it was like one of those moments where this guy's being a dick. He's pushing you. He's pushing you. He's making you try to achieve something you don't think is realistic. And then, like you said, he gets taken off. The new guy comes in and makes it obvious. We just want you to blow this shit up. We really don't care if you make it home.
Yep.
Because as he was saying, we want you to go for 4 minutes. We want you to go no faster than this. And they're all saying, at that altitude, we're going to be seen. At that speed, they're going to catch up to us. So it's hitting them that Maverick was trying to get us to do something that would get us home. These guys just care about us
Getting
achieving
mission.
achieve the objective, but they don't care if we make it home. And I think that's when they were setting to, it was hitting in, and they were able to understand this is why he's still a captain after all these years, because he's not about, just whatever. He truly is one of them. He's a pilot. He's about his, fellow pilots, his team, and the livelihoods of the people that he's with. And like, it's one of those little nuanced moments that make everything else that happens in the movie mean that much more. So now when they have those embraces at the end, when they really talk about having to leave him, they feel the significance of leaving a man behind. I mean, I'm sure all these men and women in the military, they don't take any decision like that lightly. There's no way I can believe that any of them do. But you really, in a movie, that one little scene makes you believe the next scene as to why it's significant, even though they only really have known him for less than 3 weeks. So it was little things like that I attach on, and it's surprising when a movie like this can do it so well, so subtly.
How about you, Sanj? What do you think of that scene, man? That whole either the training before it or that training scene where Maverick steals the plane and gets it done in 2 minutes and 15 seconds.
That was freaking incredible. But I mean, you kind of knew that that's the way it was gonna go, because when he left Iceman, or when he was with Iceman, he said to Iceman, like, listen, I'm a pilot. I'm not a teacher. He's like, I'm a fighter pilot, and what I want them to understand is that they gotta go for it. They got, they can't think, they can't, he's like, how do I teach that? And Iceman, remember, he couldn't talk, and he gets up, and he had been typing that whole time, but to respond to him there, he uses his own voice, and he says, show them. So as soon as she told him, show them, I'm like, I know what this guy's gonna do. This guy's, I know, oh my God. He's got, and the thing is, it was leading up to him getting back in the plane, right? Because he wasn't in the plane. Well, he was in the plane to train them, but he wasn't in the plane to, go on the mission, right? So it was all leading up to him getting back in the plane and showing, like, listen, this could be done, which really forced the admiral then to be like, he needs to be the team lead, not the teacher, right? He needs to, and he can teach them how to do it, and he needs to lead. That's the best chance for this to work is with him. And other than that, the scene that I really liked a lot was early in the training, when the first day of training, they said, all right, the floor is going to be 5,000 feet, right? That they can't go below 5,000 feet, right? But mind you, they're flying this mission, and they got to be at like 300 feet. No, not even 300 feet, like at like 100 feet, 200 feet, whatever, right? So he's like, why am I training you at 5,000 feet when you got to do a mission at 200 feet? So, he's dicking around, and they're dogfighting and everything. And him and Goose's kid go at it and whatever. And they almost then, they go way below the ceiling, right? They get down to like 100 feet, right? And of course, he gets reprimanded by the general, and the general's like chewing his ass out and whatever. And from now on, if there are any changes to the mission parameters, the training parameters, blah, 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 I have to be notified in writing, blah, 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 blah. Am I clear, Maverick? And Maverick's is like, clear, sir, whatever. And then like he tepidly puts the folder on the desk, and the general's like, what's this? He's like, and Maverick's like, this is my written request to lower
lower the fly ceiling. That was amazing, dude.
Yeah, I lost it. I completely lost it. He knew what was gonna happen when he went into to get chewed out. He knew the general was gonna chew him out. He knew exactly what the admiral. He knew what the admiral was gonna say to him, right? And he was already prepared. So it's like he's following protocol. But you see why people hate him. You know, like people like the brass. You see why the brass hates him, right? Yeah. But also, you see why everyone else loves him.
Yeah. Absolutely incredible, man. And it's funny because we're talking about all these scenes that happened in the first half of this movie.
Yes,
it's just incredible. It's incredible, man. Now let's get into the second half of the movie, which is where, because of this training, he's back on the team. You know, he's in charge. They know he's going to be the lead, and he has to choose the people he wants, but he has to create a team first. And this is where we get these like little homages to the previous game, the previous movie, and you see the volleyball game. It was awesome. You know, you get to see the team forming a team, and you know, even tells John Hamm, he's like, "You wanted a team? Look at them. They stopped counting scores about 5-10 minutes ago, like, right. And yet they're still playing, you know." And dude, I love the other characters too, like the other people that were flying. Bob, come on, dude.
Like no, they're like, what's your code name? Like he's like Bob.
You know, no, and that how not absent-minded, but how naive he is, because when the guy goes, "Oh, he must be a stealth pilot," he goes, "No." Like he didn't get it because like, the guy said, "I've been here the whole time." Yeah, he had been there the whole time, and nobody knew. Nobody knew.
And man, we had call sign Rooster for Goose's son.
Yeah.
Rooster was awesome, man.
Yo, and what was Hangman? But when he's Hangman. But when Rooster sat down and played the Great Balls of Fire, the look on Maverick's face, bro, that pain was real.
Because it was like looking at the past all over again.
Yo, and they made that dude look like Goose, kid. Like he looked like a young,
dude,
like,
the glasses,
the
hat,
mustache,
the same shirt.
Everything. Yeah.
And like I was saying, this was the perfect, like, didn't browbeat you. You know, Tom Cruise is outside of the bar because he just got kicked out because he didn't pay the bill.
Yo, they really like physically threw him out
because he couldn't afford the bill for disrespecting the
bartender. You know what? It's not that he didn't try to pay the bill. He gave him the credit card and he ain't have it.
Gotta get that Amex, bro. Not a sponsor, by the way. But you know, it was a great callback because he's looking inside and he's like, is he playing the same song as the Great Balls of Fire? And he's looking in, and just in case you didn't see the movie 36 years ago, here's what happened in the grainy footage of what happened to his dad, and his dad playing the song with the son on top of the piano. It was like, again, didn't over the head beat you with it. It was just like, this is why he's looking at him like that.
They jabbed you with it though, but that jab came at you like out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying?
It was like a sucker punch, man.
Yeah, man. It was beautiful to see, honestly, because it was just like, wow, just like his dad, he's still playing Great Balls of Fire, man. That's just awesome to see that. And it was great, and he played it great. And you know, you get the freaking the rest of the Navy with him singing along, which was awesome, man. And again, it's just more things that just add to this movie being fantastic. Now, I mean, really quick, because most movies they over the head beat you with the romantic side of it. Like, you know, Sanj had mentioned it earlier. Jennifer Connelly and his relationship was just done well. You know, it was you could tell that they had a relationship. She's definitely still interested, but at the same time, she doesn't want to get hurt. And it was just like the way that they handled it was nice, man. She's like, you ain't gonna hurt me again, dude.
Yeah, man.
Oh, yeah, man. I thought
Yeah,
the romantic part of it was cool. I think
yeah.
it was Sanj who said that he was sneaking out of the house. He looked like he dropped from from the top floor.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my
No, but
goodness.
and I like that little touch with the daughter catching him.
Yeah.
He was trying to sneak out. He thought, they thought they were good, and
Yeah.
she still
They thought they
catches
were
him.
slick.
Yeah, and she just throws that one little line. And like you said, they did what they had to do. They just had the daughter throw that one line out because it lets you know how hard it was for the mom because she says, "Don't break her heart again."
Yeah. Yeah, that was amazing,
So
dude.
it let him know right there how serious it was for the mom the first time.
Yeah. Very
Yeah,
good
so
stuff, man.
yeah,
And
So
then we go for it, Sanj.
so another scene that I like. So I'm gonna bring this back to you, Hav. So
Go
when
for it.
Maverick realizes he's got to fly the mission, right? After he's told her, since he brought up the romance, after he's told her, "I'll never leave you again," and now he has to go fly the mission again because when he got kicked out again, right?
Mhm.
He went to her and was like talking like, "Listen, I don't know how to get back in." And he's like, "I'm finally out. I'm done now." And she tells him, "Find a way. This is what you do.
Yeah.
You don't have Iceman. You don't have Iceman anymore. You got to find a way now, right?" After he's
mm-hmm,
told her, "I'll never leave you again," right?
Mm-hmm.
So
yep,
now he's got to go fly the mission. So then the scene where he walks into the bar in his uniform, and I look dead over at you because before you asked, "Hey, would you guys go
Would
out?
you wear that? Would you
Would
wear
you
that
wear that
shit?
uniform?"
Yeah,
Motherfucker,
kid, I would now.
when you saw him walk into the bar in that uniform, see, I looked over, I said, "That uniform, huh?" I half wanted to fuck him. He looked damn good in that uniform. I'm just saying, listen. So you were asking about the uniform? Hell fucking yeah, I'd wear the uniform.
Yeah. Much respect to the Navy uniform. That shit is fire, son. I'm sorry. I was a hater when I was a child. I should have realized the pimp game in that white crisp with the fucking all the medals over here, son. Oh,
Freaking
dude.
stripes on his shoulders. Captain, if
Captain,
you didn't know. Mon Capitan.
look at me. Look at me. I'm the
I'm the
captain now.
captain.
Just crazy, man. Yeah, that shit looks sharp as hell, dude. He looked great in that thing, man.
mm-hmm.
I was about to jump the line, get in the back, Connolly.
I was about to risk it all. About to risk it all.
Oh man. Oh man. But like Al, man, right after he gets this mission that he's in charge of,
Mm-hmm.
I was ready to say like that was almost unrealistic, but again, because like San said before, because he did that training and because he showed them that he could do it in 2 minutes and 15 seconds, they realized, you know what, man, he has to be the lead of this shit. He
Yeah.
can't we can't let no one else do it but him because he can do it. He just did it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
I think that ending, and it wasn't even ending because it felt like the movie should have ended, but it kept going with doing other
Yeah.
stuff. I mean, the ending was incredible, man. I mean, what was your thoughts on the actual mission? Because, dude, I think they did something which was fantastic, which was no music, just hear the plane, see the mission, and let's see what happens. Dude, my
Mm-hmm.
heart was racing. I was like, oh shit, this is real now.
Yeah.
Now, what
Yeah.
was your
Because
thoughts on that?
yeah, same shit. It was ridiculous because they had to fly through that cavern with
They were showing it.
racks and racks and racks of surface to
Air
air
missiles, yeah.
missiles,
They showed
right
those
above
missiles too
them.
as they were passing them.
Yeah, kid.
Whew.
And then they get the bridge. They had to fly through the bridge, and they're all doing this shit at what, like 800 miles per hour or whatever it
Yeah.
was. And like, yeah, you think you doing something going however fast down the highway. Imagine that shit. Like, yeah, and they're having to do it and stay low, because I think, what were they, no more than 150 feet off the
How about the
ground.
missiles behind them and going past them? Dude.
Yeah.
Oh, that scene was ridiculous because I'm
Yeah.
like, as much as I would never want to be in that scene, and again, that's why I'm thankful for all these men and women that are doing it for us. But I can only imagine the excitement of being in that scene, in that moment, and
Yeah.
you see those missiles because it's kind of like that's the whistle in a basketball game. Shit's on right there because there's no coming back from that. Like,
Yeah.
So, kid. And then just watching them go through that. And like you said, just knowing the severity of the mission and that there's no going back at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man, it was ridiculous. And I like that touch that they didn't like overwhelm it with like rock music or any kind of music. They just let you get enthralled by the action that was taking place on the screen. And again, because of how well they did it, you did get sucked in. Like you were in those moments. You were watching every turn, hoping that they made it, get through that incline and then invert so that they can go down. Oh, forget it.
Yeah, it was nuts. Absolutely nuts, man. So, what's your thoughts on the mission, man? The mission itself was just crazy, but I didn't expect it to go where it went because I was like, everything's going great. I didn't expect things to go out of whack all of a sudden, and then it does. And I just think that whole ending was amazing. What was your thoughts on the mission and everything?
It was incredible the way they put those scenes together and how they choreographed the aerial maneuvers once it turned into a dogfight. Everything just didn't happen crisp. And of course you figured they weren't just gonna have everything happen crisp, but you felt that you didn't know what exactly was going to happen, how it was going to turn out. Like you really felt like anybody could bite it, in this. Like they weren't really married to like having even Goose's kid come out alive, So and even Maverick, you thought like, is Maverick going to make it out of this or is he not going to make it out of this? So at that point you realize that anybody can die here, and when there's that kind of danger, it makes it more exciting as a moviegoer.
Yeah.
I don't want actual people to have to be in those situations, but unfortunately, people do have to be in those situations. We're thankful for those people and thankful for them doing that. But in that scene, as a moviegoer, you want to feel the danger to the character, and they really made you feel the dangers to the character, and you didn't know who was going to get taken out.
Yeah, nah, man. And I think Al had mentioned it in the non-spoiler part, the flares, the use of the flares, and how it came out. Like I've never seen anything like it before. Like they're twirling, and it's like, I never knew they referred to missiles as smoke was in the air. That was awesome. Like smoke in the air, smoke in the air. I'm like, oh, okay, I see what you're saying. There's some missiles, like it's just crazy. And then just like avoiding the missile, like trying to either get out of its way or throw the flares to kind of make sure that the flares hit the missile so that it'll explode the missiles there. I thought that was just absolutely crazy. And like Sanj was just saying, I thought that for real, like Goose's son or Rooster was gonna get it, and then you get Tom Cruise saving him at the last second with the flares, but then he gets hit. And to be honest with you guys, I thought the movie was gonna end there, where they all got away. Maverick gave his life to save his son. Phenomenal movie.
Yeah, that would have been a great. Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah, yo, kid, I thought that's what I thought they were foreshadowing that in the beginning. Because remember when they first showed Maverick the mission, he looked at it and he goes, "Nah, somebody's not coming back from this one."
Right.
So I thought that like they were foreshadowing, somebody dies in the mission, and I said, "That's how you end this." He offers himself up in some way.
Right.
So
the
when
redemption,
it happened,
the redemption is him saving Goose's kid. Is him saving Rooster.
Yeah. So I thought that was going to be the ending there.
That was just incredible. And then you see Goose trying to fly away. You hear the Admiral, I don't remember John Hamm's character's name, but it was John Hamm who's just like, no, tell him to come home. No, let's not send the thing. Let's just bring him back in safely. Let's get who we can home, and that's it. Mm-hmm. And I think the screen went black, if I'm right.
Yes.
The screen goes black, and the next thing you see is Tom Cruise waking up. And I'm like, oh, this shit is continuing, right?
Yeah, it's like we still got movie.
Yeah, dude, we still got movie going. And it turns into like almost Metal Gear Solid. I'm like, this guy's like running. Then all of a sudden, this movie turned into like an action movie all of a sudden. Like, I don't know how to describe it. I mean, the whole movie's an action movie, but it's like it turned into like Rambo.
Actually, I thought it turned into a Mission Impossible movie. Dude, as a matter of fact, with him running like that, and then
he has to run in every movie, Sanj. He has
to run in every movie. He's got to get his cardio.
I think it's in his contract.
Yeah, got to get in his cardio.
Yeah, dude.
So
Definitely, man.
and
But
then at the
like,
last second,
go for it. Yeah.
then at the last second there, he's about to catch it because you got this Black Hawk type
Oh,
helicopter, just
yeah.
this gunship just blazing at him, and they have him in his sights. They're about to do it. Boom! Who
Boom.
comes and saves him? Rooster. And
Rooster.
he's like,
Mhm.
"No, what did you do? Why are you here?"
Why are you here? He's like,
But
you
then
told me not to think.
He goes, "What were you thinking? You told me
me not
not to."
because they shoot down Rooster too, and
Uh,
but he
dude,
runs up to him and pushes him down. I mean, even in those moments, the fact that they are able to, in those very tense and serious moments, bring levity to it, is incredible.
dude, how funny was it that he's like, you told me not to think, and
And
he
he's
just
like,
stopped. He just stopped, and they just looked at each other like, I did tell you not to think. Like, dude, that was probably the most funniest thing in the movie. Man. They just look at each other like, and to me, like once they went this route with this movie, I was just like, oh, this is incredible because this is more than just Top Gun now. This is like its own, like this is a
Mhm.
movie right now, because like the first Top Gun felt like a training montage that led to like a dogfight and it just happened to happen.
yeah,
This was
yeah,
like a story, dude. Like it was incredible. And
Yeah.
we get to this thing where they have to go to try to find a way out of this situation. And again, I kind of love that whole concept where they go find a plane and go figure, excuse me, go figure it's the F-14 that they were training in for the first movie.
Yep.
So it was like a homage to the plane, but at the same time it's an older plane, and it was just absolutely crazy. And then we get another like air scene, where they're flying trying to get back, but it was just incredible. Sanj, tell me about your thoughts on this last air battle here, man,
Oh
because I think
man,
this was probably one of the air best things I've seen.
it absolutely.
I've never seen shit like this before, dude.
Absolutely. It was incredible. Incredible because they're fighting against that fifth generation fighter,
Was it a
and
MiG-28 they called it, or MiG something?
I can't
I can't
even remember,
remember,
but they
right?
just kept referring
Yeah, I
to
don't
it
remember
as
anything
as
other
a
than
fifth
fifth gen.
generation fighter,
Fifth
right? And
generation,
they're basically flying an antique. The F-14. In the first movie, yes, it was state of the art. That was it at that time. Not anymore. And then there was Maverick is pulling out his best moves, doing everything he can, right? Doing the flares, and it was like three of them, and he took out two of them, and there's this last one, right? That desperation. He's doing all of his moves, right? And then he gets on the guy, and the guy does some maneuver,
dude.
and Maverick is like, "What the fuck was that?" So when Maverick is like, "What the fuck?" He's like, it's serious.
Even us in the theater, we were like,
Yeah, we're
"What the
like,
hell was
"What the
that?" Like,
fuck? How did?"
he like shut the plane off. That shit fell.
No, the plane was just hanging in the air, like
Yo, dude,
not
that was
falling, not
insane.
moving, not doing anything. So it was just nuts. And then and he's trying to outmaneuver him and dodge him. And then he realized like, no, he's got us. And then
Yeah,
he says to Rooster, "I'm sorry."
Yeah.
Because he was telling Rooster eject, and the ejector's not working. Even the ejector's not working, right? So he
yeah.
can't even get Rooster out. You know. So he's
Mhm.
like, "I'm sorry." And then right at that last second, because Hangman, they made Hangman the backup, and he like the
Yeah.
whole time he'd been like, yo, coach, put me in, coach, send me, let me, to the general. He's like, yo, let permission to go save them, and they're like, no, no, no. Then right at that last second, all he sees, boom, the smoke, and you don't know which plane blew up, and then you see Hangman's plane. He's like,
Yeah,
hello,
man.
gentlemen. We'll be flying at 30,000 feet today. Trade table, prepare to land. Trade tables up, and everything. Like, and he guides them home. That was
Mhm.
nice. That was
Yeah,
real
man.
nice.
How about you, Al? What was your thoughts on that last sequence there, man?
It was ridiculous, and the funniest part was like what Sanj said. That scene where they're going through all that trouble to evade and dodge, and he thinks he's got the MiG in his sights, and he's about to shoot him, and the guy just like does does Maverick's move. He just slams on the brake, but he does it in a way where you have two of the top pilots for the United States in one plane, and both of them go, "What the fuck was that?" So I just was dying. That scene had me cracking up because of that shit. I was like, "Yeah, that fuck." And
Yeah.
then just like in the movie, they get saved. So that was one of the better endings of a movie I've seen, considering what we had already been through in that movie.
Yeah. You know what I love especially about this movie is that they took people who don't have a clue for the most part. I would say like 98% of the theater has never flown a plane, right? So we don't know what we're looking at, and we don't understand like the G force and all that stuff like that. They made us leave that theater understanding that what we saw was fucking crazy. Like, like even that aerial maneuver, because we know how good Maverick is, and we know how great Rooster must have been to be one of the people that they chose from the Top Gun, like the Academy winners. These are the best of the best. If those two guys said, "What the fuck was that?" we know as an audience that shit was crazy. So like, and again, like we understood the G forces when these guys are almost like falling unconscious because they're going
Yeah,
up so fast and so high at a speed that, what is it? They were going Mach 9 at that
yeah,
point for that. Like,
Mach 10.
dude, that shit was crazy, dude. Like, I left here thinking that I could be in the Top Gun program because I know so much now. So like, it's like it's incredible. And to be real with you, man, now knowing that this is what these fighters do, or these guys, or these pilots, or whoever's in this unit that does these things with the airplane, do, much respect. Like, you shouldn't need a movie to do that, but dude, this
Hmm.
movie did it for y'all, man. Much respect, salute,
Yeah.
son. Like, that shit was incredible, man. And like Al said, that scene with the missiles behind them and then going in front of them to kind of like knock out the freaking
The runway.
the runway before the enemy could get on there. Whew, that was so good. So good, man. Listen, this movie is
Yeah.
just incredible, man. I mean, listen, final thoughts. Al, talk to me, man. Final thoughts on this movie, man.
Oh, kid. Yeah, just go watch this. This is definitely a must see in the theater, must see multiple times. Because I've seen it twice, and the second time felt like it was my first time watching it.
Wow.
The same scenes get you. It's not you're not. Yeah, kid.
Would you watch it a
Definitely go
third?
watch this movie. I would. Yeah, I wouldn't mind it, kid. I wouldn't
That's
mind it.
awesome, man.
Thanks for that. Thank you for that AMC stubs. Yeah.
Nice, man. Sanj, final
Yeah,
thoughts
kid.
on Top Gun Maverick.
I agree. I agree wholeheartedly with Al. Everything that he said. This is what movies should be. Just
Oh,
a good
yeah.
time. Just a
Yeah, man.
good time. Good story. That draws you in. That you laugh, you cry, everything in between.
Hmm.
So it
Yeah.
was absolutely incredible. Must see. Must see. Must see in
Yeah.
the theater. Must see multiple times. I'm gonna echo exactly what Al said.
Yeah, man. I mean, listen, I think we all got a little choked up at the end when they landed on the plane, and it was weird because they didn't really say much, but you knew what they were trying to say in the hug and the
Yes.
high five between Rooster and Maverick. And really quick though, shout out to the girl who was sitting to our left, who was part of the Real Fan Review for the night, who's probably going to end up breaking up with her boyfriend because he did not like that she kept looking over with us and started like cheering everything we were cheering. So like, I would say something. I mean, Sanj would say something. She'd be like,
Yeah, he wanted to do something, but there was way too many of us for him to think about it.
"Yeah, rolling deep to the movies, son."
That's what's up.
Okay.
He would have got a Real Fan Review. But no, it was actually it's awesome when like we can meet with people that like don't have anything to do with us, but they're sharing that experience with us at the movie theater, man, which was absolutely incredible, man.
That's
Yeah,
been
man.
happening more and more. That happened in Batman when we went to see it too. So I mean,
Yeah,
it's great. But again, the whole experience of going to the movies,
Yeah.
you sit down next to somebody that you'll never see again in your lifetime, but yet you can have a whole experience together, and and it's awesome.
yeah,
Hmm.
absolutely, man. So listen, you heard us talk about Top Gun Maverick. You heard a spoiler just now. We love this movie. I love this movie. This movie is my number one movie of 2022 so far. And as you guys know, if you listen to the podcast, it was not but a few weeks ago where I said I was worried that the Batman would be the best thing we saw this year. Wrong. Top Gun. Top Gun. You know what I mean? So it was incredible. And again, a great experience. I love watching movies with these fellas right here. You know, it makes the experience that much more for me to hear them cheering on and losing their shit, just like I am watching the movie. So it's always a great experience. But listen, if you're watching on YouTube or listening to us on the podcast, if you saw Top Gun Maverick, what was your reaction to it? What did you think of it? Let us know in the comments below or email us at therealfanreview@gmail.com to give us just a heads up. What did you think? What was the best part for you in that movie, man? Because that movie was absolutely incredible. But listen, that's going to be us for tonight. We're glad you guys came back to listen to Top Gun, the review for Maverick or Top Gun 2, whatever you want to call it. But listen, next week we'll get back into more of these movies that are coming out. I believe the next big blockbuster is Jurassic World or Jurassic World Dominion is the next big one, which is June 9th. So I think maybe next week we'll get into like a Jurassic World prep. We'll talk about Jurassic Park 1, 2, and 3, Jurassic World 1 and 2, and kind of talk about our favorite parts, favorite moments in those movies, and what we're waiting for and looking forward to in Jurassic World Dominion. So definitely come back next week, and we'll be back there with you guys to talk about that movie and get you amped up. So coming out of Long Island, New York, we are the Real Fan Review. Saying goodnight, we got my brother B. No, we don't. He's not here. He's in the movies enjoying Top Gun Maverick. We got my boy Sanj.
Good night, everybody, and be safe out there.
We got our man in the chair, Al.
Have a good night, everybody.
And we got myself, Hob, saying thank you guys for listening. We'll catch you guys on the next podcast, the Jurassic World Prep. We'll see you next week. Till next time.